first question, who's the best looking guy on the stage?
Absolutely you.
Good answer. But just for everybody in the room, how did your family build the business, and what is it today?
So first of all, I'd like to say congratulations on hosting this event. On behalf of everybody in this room and all the Beijing hoteliers, I think your dada will be very happy. In 1982, Rabbi Kampo came to Greenville, and my dad saved all 20 magazines and said, "Welcome to America." So it's a great moment today to see what you prepared. So going back to the story, I think our story is no different than every Asian hoteliers in this room and across America. I think all of us are farmers: mango, sugarcane, and rice. Last week, I was in India with my son and HP. 3 generations, we went to the mango farm, which we still have today. And the harvesting season was going on. And I think what it tells you, every Gujarati family has 2 verbiage: always hold on to land and always hold on to gold. And when we were at the mango farm, it was 6 generations that land was passed down. And my son is there. So it just shows you the Gujarati community, they purchasing hotels, we're in the land business. Inflation always fights against it, and recessions always we counter it. Gold is something we bought during the weddings. Every mom would buy a gold biscuit, right? So it's interesting. Again, from India, I went to Malawi, Africa, bought a retail store. 1973, $20,000 down payment, Pomona, California, Sunset Hotel. We lived in room number 2. I think many of the second generation, all of them looks out. Our night auditors, well, we didn't have night auditors, we were the night auditors. And I think we all were raised in the parking lot. And fast forward, you bought a home in the 80s, and you're like, wow, this is pretty cool. We have a bedroom and a bathroom. Until then, we were living in a hotel room. And that's an amazing story of all the Asian hoteliers. And I then fast forward, personally myself, I was like, this is a dirty business. I want to be a doctor, a dentist, something like that. And I went across the street at a Sheraton hotel, we were in a Camelot Inn. And I saw the professionalism in a hotel with brand. And I said, wow, well, the sales department, equity department, like, I never realized that all these departments. So I went to hotel school, came back after graduating. I worked at Marriott Marquis right in downtown in a 1,700 room hotel. And I was like, wow, this is a factory. This is a hotel. This is where we can go. Remember, Sunset Hotel, a 40-room hotel, many go to a 700 room hotel. So it just shows your vision, or broadening your horizon, holding on to the family values and the culture. And what's phenomenal is now everybody came for the American dream of America. We as second generation are going back for our Indian dream. So we built a hotel in Surat in 1990, opened the doors, which is today a Marriott Hotel, a 4-year. We're under construction for Jacob the Marriott in Surat with a golf course. The golf course opens up. Any of you are a golfer, you'll open up in November 1. And we're taking a Top Golf and the largest convention center, 140,000 square feet at a convention center. So Surat, as you know, and Gujarat, as you know, is on fire. So we're just riding that wave. But again, I think seizing the moment, seizing the opportunity, no different than what everybody in this room has done. But I think we still remember our Sunset Hotel. And we never lose ground with humility and grounding. I think instinct building relations is what drives all the success.
Just thinking in terms of the current business, just a little bit about the kind of assets that you and I are ready to get to.
So currently we have 7,000 rooms, 46 locations. We pretty much build and acquire. When it's recession, we're buying. When it's good time, we're building. Very simple. Over the years, we've built about 15,000 rooms and 3,000 associates. We have 1,500 associates in the year. So at the end of the day, we own, build, and run our own hotels. We're not a third-party manager. We're in the business of creating network. And that's what we've done. No different than what Patadas used to do. Keep getting low, keep building the equity back into the business, and keep growing the business. And I think, my son just joined a year ago. And obviously our kids are fast forward, right? They see everything. They want to be Mark Zuckerberg overnight, right? So you got to slow the train down. And you got to put the needle to the balloon and say, hey, take a hot air out. Let's get back to the grounding of what it means to rent a room, how to sell a room, just the basic 101. And I think we always have to remind our children that we were raised in a hotel, but our children were not. And for them, definitely let them grow and succeed. But it's really important to keep our children excited about our business and, like the Banco Farm, keep growing the investments and keep the generations moving.
I like that. We'll come up to the young generation later. Why not expect some mangoes at the end of the day today?
The U.S. government is tough.
Yeah. So Sam, I over to you. Your first generation hotelier, you like it, but you also built a very successful business in a very short time. So you tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience.
Yeah, so by education, I am a mechanical engineer. I came to the hotel business in 2003, thanks to my uncle, Yash Patel. He brought me in this business, and we worked there for a few years, built properties, purchased assets, and just something we as a hotelier, it's like we are all farmers. And like DJ said, farmers never like to sell. And farmer always a thing to require. So it kept on going. And one of a sudden, before we know, we became quite a big number of properties. At that stage, about 5 years ago, we started putting some capital out of the hotel business into some startups and stuff. And with God's grace, it has been done really well. So I'm not like DJ who grew up in the day-to-day hotels, but I had a mentor who taught me in the business. Prior to that, I was working in corporate America. There was in party. So I was always entrepreneurial since my childhood, and I found hospitality right at home. So did you get do any laundry, repair any pipes? These guys want to beat me out, but I never did.
DJ get the show. I want to get a bit about our fathers. Each our fathers have known each other for a very long time. And I remember that moment when fathers met for the first time and they hiked and your dad and took away straight to his house. I remember that. But also something a little bit unique. So for instance, my father, he was an extraordinary journalist. And in the 60s, what he created is not simply areas, but he worked to help people get a visa, he helped people who speak English, with education, starting a business, but he also was very helpful with the authorities. So in 1971, there was a body of Lugaya Bibi Pesari found in the River Thames. And the police could not figure out who she was and what happened to her. So because of the relationship they had with my father, they asked my father to help out. My father had to interview the husband, Ali Babi, and the husband's brother. And he went to the house just to talk to him, and he was quite nervous. And he said to me, please, what happens if something happens to him? So don't worry, you've got your covered, you've got standing outside the house. But he, through his investigative journalism, he uncovered the plot. The husband accused his wife of having an affair, hired a hitman, and had a kid. My father solved the murder. The two guys were convicted with life sentences. Detective Superintendent John Swain wrote a book and a whole chapter on my father. Now, I don't expect your father to solve murders. Okay, but tell me about your father, JP. JP, yeah.
So I think I lost my father 4 years ago, and obviously when we were being raised, our classroom was our dining room. Our classroom was at the front desk, right? So we as kids picked up all these traits over the years, and now you realize when you don't have a father around, you truly understand that don't take time for granted, because time is our worst enemy. And make sure you take it every minute and take advantage of it. So my father was the same here, right? A giver, especially hospitality. There was one broker named Jim Bridgman. I don't know if any of you may know in this room. But he used to drive a Cadillac. He would have 5 Asian hoteliers in that bar. He would give a number to each one. When they go to see a property, number one goes first, and then they rotate that. If somebody buys it, then the next person takes the offer or the bid. So then we'd come to our hotel, and my dad would be one of those stops where 6 people come in for dinner, and I'm like, who are all these folks? Well, that's Jim Bridgman's guest, so we got our host anyway. So, people just used to pull over the exit, and you would have to, the mama making dinner for 10 people, whoever shows up. So I think Aditi Devo Bhava, right? We heard that word. Hospitality, the doors are always open. My father focused on education and poverty relief. We have a one initiative as a company, and we have a full-time person that does nothing but focus on giving as a family. And I asked him, what is it that you would want? So education. 7 years ago, we set up a university in Suva called Ori University. It's a private university. Narendra Modi was the governor back in the days, and we were able to get a private university status. So there we have 25 students, 13 degrees, 100% funded by us. If you ever go to Suva, make sure you visit Ori University. Last week, we just hosted Byron Drat at the university, incredible band. And then he had a second wish, and that is to bring the Eastern culture of India, philosophy, spirituality, to the Western world. So we acquired 300 acres going outside of Greenville, South Carolina. We're building a mind, body, spirit base. It's under construction. It opens up in 9 months. 88 rooms, yoga rooms, organic kitchen, multi-purpose, all of them. It's a 501c nonprofit, bringing our culture to America and helping people to, how to raise a child in today's society. So we'll have different scholars come speak and also help. It's open for everybody. It's not just a vegan kind of setup, but it's more about helping society where we embrace ourselves in America.
Samuel.
My father was not in the hotel business. He was working in a corporate setup in India. So I'm the one who came to US first. I started working in the engineering company, then worked in consulting business, then got into the hotel business. But my father is also very pro education, like what Vijay mentioned. And that's one of his passion. So today, his foundation, we support kids to go for higher education from our Nam and surrounding area to international universities to achieve their master's degree. And his foundation gives them interest-free loans, and kids give them back. So mostly masters in engineering, physicians, pharmacy, stuff like that. So that's always been his passion. And another thing he always continued to tell us, it's spirituality. If you are connected to any belief you are believing in, stay connected to your beliefs. Because you always going to run through good and bad, highs and lows in your life. But if you are connected to the base system you are belong to, then it will help you come out on the other side more than not on the other side. So that's a very, I remember every conversation we had. And like now, I watch IPL game every Sunday with my dad. We watch. My mom sometimes joins. She told me what there like too many players, but she had a nice Kohli and Rohit Sharma and those. But my father is a very avid reader. So in his lifetime, he may have read, I would say, close to 2,000 books. And he's like a lot of knowledge, wisdom, and like DJ said, I mean, sometimes we don't spend enough time with our parents. So a few years back, I made a major change to my lifestyle. So every morning, I have breakfast with them before I go to work. And even as early morning, I sometimes travel to get flight and stuff. But I see them before I leave home. So I can point of that.
Is your breakfast propaganda or
My wife,
celebrity?
no. I'm like on a street like regimen. So I eat veggie omelette 6 days a week, and one day eat breakfast.
So I think also it's just about ladies in our lives. Our mothers are obviously very people. So that's really good, right? Your mothers are.
So my actual strength comes from my mother. My mom ran for public office and won back in 1976. So my mom actually met our then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi twice, and she spent some time in the party. But then me and my brother were Lord Keller. So my grandma basically asked her not to pursue further. But my mom is a very strong-minded person. So all the challenges we face in the business, we basically find strength from her. And one thing I can tell you, and I'm pretty much sure like a lot of us have this thing in common. When you go home and if you are stressed and if you are on the dining table, sometimes your wife may not notice that. She's here, so I think that must be for her forgiveness. But mom always recognizes, and she will ask, "Why did you give it?" So that's like the motherly love, and I'm pretty sure we all, especially we just as a mother, so we all we were lost their mother, we all missed mother, and my grandma was a very much influential in my life. So I'm very privileged to have a strong mom and equally strong friend here.
Thank you. EJ.
I think I have this one liner that says, Gujarati businesses are built by the desks that survive like in the kitchen, right? And I always find that our moms back in the days, they hosted people. There was no formal invitation. How many people are showed up tonight, right? So they're tigers and they're fighters. They run the desk. They take us to soccer practice. They also help clean the housekeeping and also cook. It's incredible, and without any complaints. So my sister had a stroke 8 years ago, and I saw my mom become a tiger. And she's my younger sister. And when you have a family tragedy like that happens, you see a mom that comes out. And she was at Emory University here at the hospital for almost 3 months, and then Shepherd Center, which is right here in Midtown, almost 5 months for the treatment. And I've never seen a mom like any, I never wanted to be challenged anybody, but moms are tigers, and that's my mom. And after using the father, they even become strong. So she's like my energy, she's my fuel, and we can survive without her. So.
It's still very scary. Both of you said, because I remember my father. My father would write everything every week. My mother said, we have to get the big crowd. But Eddie still got buying printing presses, she wins. And so, yeah, one is very, really strong characters. But do you feel that he becoming like your father or your brother?
Blend of father and mother. Because in such situation, you kind of drop your strength and inspiration from your father. So my father has one unique aspect. He's a very funky person. He doesn't get like high nose and stuff like that. So that helps me think through situations. My mother is a source of strength. So any tough situation, and we have gone through multiple tough situation in last 20 years, yes. And I've always saying helps when they are busy. And I'm very fortunate that they've always been with me. And we are giving service.
Yes, I think our family, any sanskar, right? We call it. Our parents gave us the sanskar, we held on to those, and those are what's benefiting us. And like you said, my son tells me, are you becoming like grandfather? So I think these characteristics we come out slowly but surely, and nothing wrong with it. And I think we have to preserve them as we move forward in life.
So, quick question about why you go retail. This time I remember you said that you had an office guy who helps you understand what financial and so, but midterms you buy on instinct. What does that mean?
I think a lot of time, all of us, pretty much most of Gujaratis, I mean, they keep analysts and all that kind of thing just to have it. But most of the hotel purchases, and I don't keep this room with in like ARC, Mike, CK, a lot of hoteliers who have a lot more experience than me. And I think they can agree with me that buying hotels mostly goes with instinct and gut feeling, more so than numbers. And I think a lot of time the gut feeling comes true versus a lot of the numbers, I think. But I would ask DJ this question, that what it takes to buy hotels in India or build hotels in India, because here in the States, our margins are shrinking and franchisors are getting into deeper and deeper in our pocket. So I think he figured out the way to segue into Indian market. And I'm hearing it's pretty profit margins.
Do you have a
Absolutely, a big analysis paralysis. We have a real estate team. If I followed everything that they told me to do, we would not be where we are. So I think a lot of times you look back and say, wow, I'm glad we did that, right? You will always say that. The other thing is there's Steve Rushmore in our industry, HBS. He has a chart, 1982, Hampton, we built our first Hampton in 1986. For $38,000 a door. And over the years, he has a chart that shows you per room costs, what it takes to build. So today, AC Hotel, Greenville, $350,000 a door. So it's crazy when you build, it's very difficult to underwrite. We love buying because you're buying on 40 cents on the dollar, putting 40 cents of renovation, you're 80 cents in, the low cost of replacement, if the market is right, if the location is right. So I think every Asian hoteliers have done that. And when the interstate system was being laid down, our Asian community bought the hotels on the highways because Holiday Inn is building on the Cloverleaf. All the motels were on the highway, the original highways. We bought them for 20 cents on the dollar. We took out all the labor. We made it a success, right? And that's the agility that every Asian hotelier across this country has. And that looks kudos to them. While I'm talking about this subject, HP Maha, one of my own boats, you look at the history of Pahoa, Mike is here, the president of Pahoa. He was driving from Atlanta to Greenville. And right in the middle of the interstate, Commerce, Georgia, there was a property called Bulldog Inn. And it said American owned and operated, right? And that's how Pahoa got started. And he called up Mike Levin and gathered a few people, Nitin Shah and Gurdas and some are in this room. So it's interesting how Asian community has come so far ahead, and it's kudos to everybody in this room and everybody across there.
I've been talking to you guys for hours. I've been talking, running out of time. So one last question. If I had a few $1 million, would you tell me to buy or sell or leave the country and go to Venezuela?
I would stay in US. Only place I will trade to US for is India. So either India or the US. No other place in the world is like the United States of America. And I love America.
So I echo with Sam, the US currency, the stability and the volatility, you always want to earn the US currency. We're in India too. What happens when we bring that India profit back to US, we pretty much lose 50 cents on that Indian rupee. The other thing is in 1982, when we first sent our first rupee to India, the conversion was 13 rupees. $1 in 1982 was 13 rupees. Today, it's 92. So currency devaluation is a big challenge. But what happens in India is the net worth is much faster. What it took us 30 years here, you can do that in India in 10 years. Land costs for developing a hotel is 63%, close to 65% of your entire development costs in India. So it's a barrier to entry. And I think every time you open up India communication, you can see how the wealth is getting created overnight because of the 1.4 billion people, the domestic consumption, the demand within India. What happened in the 1970s with the interstate system laying down in America, it's happening right now in India on steroids with bullet trains, roads, network, and there's only 38,000 AAA rooms in India. There's 130,000 rooms, but AAA rated rooms is very minimal. So again, India and US would be the answer.